Hi, this is Shankar, and in my last two videos I've talked about marriage and love. Today let me talk about, after talking about marriage and love, let me talk about reasons which can create problems in a marriage. Now let us understand, we can divide everything into three categories: problems which create problems in marriage. One is you develop a negative attitude towards institutional marriage, or you may not get happiness from marriage, or your ego comes. I mean, the whole thing of marriage, you don't like it. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons behind it, but that could be one reason. Second is there could be issues in certain tendencies which a male or a female partner may have. That creates problems with marriage. And third is there are certain planets which are inherent and give certain tendencies by which there is a crash in marriage. So let me start with these aspects. As I've already explained you that when there is a dominance of the 6th house and of the 10th house and of the 1st house, there is a negation of marriage. Now primarily the planet which negates marriage is 6th house. 6th house is 12th from 7th. It says that the whole institution of marriage, I don't like it. It's not for me. 6th house is a house where you feel that the partnership, I mean, you don't gain anything for the partnership. It's a loss. The partnership is, I mean, you don't feel that kind of any gain in the relationship or in the partnership or marriage. So when 6th house becomes very dominant, there is going to be a negation of marriage, and for sure. Now again, it should not be seen that if 6th house is dominant, a marriage will collapse. I've already told you that what I'm saying is a small part of the puzzle. You have to look at the birth chart, the Navamsh chart, the other D charts, the degrees of the planet, the nakshatra lord, the kaspal lord, the sub lord, the bhav charit, and other things also to finally decide. But these are like, again, indicators. So most important indication for negation of marriage is then 1st, 6th and 10th house come into play in your dasha and bhukti. Dasha and bhukti are the planets. In a life, every time you are governed by a dasha, there is a particular dasha which is governing that part of your life, that's time span. So it is a dasha which should indicate that there is a negation of marriage. The 6th house becomes dominant along with the 1st and 10th house. Be sure that there will be a problem in your marriage. You may feel that, okay, this partnership is not going to go ahead for you. The second thing which I've seen in cases of marriage is Sun and Venus together. I have already told you Venus is the most important planet which governs marriage in both the male and the female horoscope. I have seen that in most of the cases wherever the Sun and Venus are together, and when I say together, they should not be 20 degrees apart or 25 degrees apart. Sun and Venus should be in conjunction in an orb of 6 degrees. It is only when it is in an orb of 6 degrees, that is when the Sun and Venus are in conjunction, that is both the planets are in the same room, they're looking at each other, then there is going to be a problem in marriage. Sun and Venus together in an orb of 6 degrees creates problems in marriage. Now whether the marriage will get destroyed or whether it will, there would be different, there are different things which happen in a marriage, but be sure Sun and Venus together will create problems in your marriage, that's for sure. The another planet which is very important, which I've seen does create problem in marriage, is Ketu. It is the north node. Ketu is a planet which is a planet which does not have the head. It only has tail into it. It has a tail. It does not have any head. So it doesn't know how to move. Secondly, there is a mythological story which I don't have the time to get into details, but it is a planet which shows that you've already achieved, not interested in that aspect wherever it is placed. In your last birth, you've already witnessed everything, you've had so much of it that you are not interested in that particular aspect in this lifetime. That is what Ketu shows. So whenever Ketu is in the 7th house, it shows that I am not interested in marriage. I've had enough. In my last birth, I've gone through marriage. I've enjoyed it. It's something which does not interest me at all. I am not interested in marriage. So Ketu in 7th house, whenever you have Ketu in 7th house, please stop and look. It is an indicator that there will be problems in marriage. Ketu in 7th house again is a very important indicator, as Sun and Venus in conjunction together are. So these are two things, two conjunctions and placements, one conjunction and one placement, Sun and Venus together and Ketu in the 7th house will create problems in married life, an indicator where you have to stop and look. The third thing, the planet which does not deny marriage but delays marriage, is Saturn. Saturn is a planet which does not deny anything, but it's a slow moving planet. It delays everything. So whenever Saturn is aspecting the 7th house, there is going to be some kind of problem in the marriage. Now things will become more serious, more disturbed when Saturn